Just after going over the film from the other night, does anything particularly jump out at you that you didn't kind of get immediately after the game?
Not really. We went back and we just looked at our shots, and I felt like we got some that we just missed. That happens, and I felt like if we made a couple of those shots early, it would have been a better chance to stay in the game. And in the second half, they did a really good job. Hopkins, he hadn't been shooting; they only shoot 15 threes. We tried to protect the paint, rebound. We did that better. They made 9 threes, and Hopkins and Tiger Campbell really stepped up.
After the game, you said that you liked the way that the team fought.
Yeah.
The score didn't indicate that. What was it that you liked?
Well, when I say fight, a big thing is we talked about like toughness plays in terms of rebounding. And so I think we were even. That was big. I felt like loose balls. I felt like 50-50 balls, those types of things I thought were really good. Where you can't go 2 for 25, 1 for 14 and expect to beat a top 10 team. It's just not going to happen. And so then you go back and you just evaluate like what type of shots were the right guys shooting it. And I would say 80% of them were good ones for us. We got to knock them down.
And just to like that right there, just when you say like the right guys, I mean, is it not because I know with you in this offense that the ball moves,
yeah,
and that the ball kind of finds where it goes.
Yeah.
Are the right guys consistently not taking those shots?
Well, no, I feel like listen, Cole's been before last game he was close to 50, 40, 90. I thought Braxton May 9 for 10. We did a good job finding him. But we've, I thought, Corn's been a good shooter. He had some big shots in some big games. He struggled a little bit. Noah hasn't played for, since the beginning of the year. So there's going to be, that lack of rhythm and flow and those types of things for him. PJ obviously wasn't feeling good, so he didn't play. And then, Keon Minifield played 11 minutes, and he's been our second best three-point shooter all year, him and Cole. So, they play a certain way. You got to be able to step up, knock down those shots, and, we'll practice them, get better at them, and keep throwing them up.
Any sort of lingering thing that happened with KB there, or was that just Keon Brooks?
Yeah. Anything lingering?
Yeah, I mean, that was just like an off game for him.
Yeah, you know what? He played a lot of minutes against USC. Tough, and he just got to get his energy levels. Felt like our energy wasn't where it needs to be.
And any updates with your guys who were injured, PJ and the other team?
Yeah, PJ was just sick, not feeling well enough to play. Keon Minifield been getting treatment, but should be available for the Arizona game this week.
And just with those two back, I mean, it feels like you're kind of back at full strength, but it's still it feels like you guys are still figuring out the Frank part and just kind of who you are without Frank now.
Yeah, you know what? There's been a lot of Noah getting injured at the beginning, then we Keon for those 3 games, so different players, took guys off a red shirt, building that chemistry, and Frank was a big part of that. But we've got good players, and Noah's adding another really good player that we relied on at the beginning is just it's going to be another chemistry piece of getting those reps together. But yeah, never easy, but you're always trying to figure a way moving forward.
And then obviously a person who had benefit sort of big from sort of Frank not being there would be sort of Braxton. Just what have you seen from him?
You know what? I'm really proud of him. He averaged, I think, 4 points a game at Fresno, and he's had in big games. I loved how hard he played against, in the last 2 games, especially against UCLA. I thought Cole, too, was at a high level all around, defensively, offensively, just competing. And but Frank was that guy that he could come in. He had a great 2-headed monster. Held both of them accountable. And if one of them got in foul trouble, you might get better on the other end. And so, that loss was not just the playing part, but the spirit part. Kid's amazing.
Yeah, we talked to Braxton after the game, and he kind of said that. Like he said that the one thing that I need to improve on is just being vocal.
Yeah.
And just are there things that he needs to improve on, and just what
Who was that?
with sort of Braxton?
Yeah, yeah.
Just being vocal.
Yeah, I think, vocal, in our defense in the zone, like you're the only guy who can see the entire court. And so him being vocal, him being active and being the guy who can protect that paint is huge. Also, demanding sometimes when he's open, demanding the ball. He's a big time threat down there. He's a big time weapon. And, yeah, he's just going to keep getting better and better. New role for him too.
Yeah.
New.
In like your time here, that you've had those guys in the middle, going back to Noah,
Yeah, yeah.
going back to Isaiah.
Yeah.
Just how is your offense different when you have a guy in the middle that you know that you can throw it into?
Well, not only throw it into, but really protect the paint. You're talking about like shot blocking. That's what when both of them were together, I think we were averaging that position, 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 blocks or whatever that was, and changes. But Braxton having that big guy in there, you just against UCLA, he played with having foul trouble, so he played still aggressive. I think that's also something that he's learned to be able. We need him on the court, and so I thought that was pretty big. That's a great learning experience for him too, being able to play against a team like that with interior players, Hopkins and Bona and those guys, and he did a good job. He had early 2 fouls too. We were worried about that getting that third.
I have to ask you in terms of Braxton, and we had a chance to talk to him after the game.
Yeah.
Unique free throw shooting.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Quincy had worked with him in terms of the shot. Braxton only shot, I think, in the 40s when he was at Fresno. Quincy really worked with him. I was hesitant when I watched it. But boy, when he makes 10 in a row in practice and you're watching it and the confidence that he has in it and seeing the improvement, that's been a lot of fun to watch.
Have you ever seen anything quite like that? With the hand comes off of the ball?
Yeah, you know what? He's I've seen a lot. I've seen guys stay on the side, I was always in the middle of the nail, 2 inches over. Guys are on the side, guys are shooting back. Mark Jackson putting his 2 hands out there. You remember Mark Jackson would go like this, like everybody kind of has their thing. It's kind of like a golfer, they kind of have their own rhythm, their own mechanic. The good thing is that it works for him, and that's been a lot of fun to see.
And if anything, it seems like teams have now gotten to, like early on, he'd get a lot of lane violations.
Yeah.
Like, guys who jump in.
Yeah.
And so it feels like the scouting report is out.
Yeah, well, he made a couple big ones when they got the lane violation, but. So he, but he's got a lot of confidence, and everybody's got confidence in him. I think that was a big thing going into the season was our big guys making foul shots.
Turning the focus towards Arizona.
Yep.
What have you seen from them?
You know what? Rated 4th in the country. Plug and play in terms of their system. They've got a couple new players. Courtney Ramey, a transfer from Texas, who is as good as anybody. He's another point guard in there that plays with Kyrsa. Tubelis is playing not just Pac-12 Player of the Year caliber, but National Player of the Year caliber. Balo as well. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the country. They run in transition. They're one of the best 2-point field goal percentage teams. So they're really going to high-low, get in the paint, try to overpower us. And then, they just, when you play there, you got to keep them out of transition, and you got to do a good job in the paint.
Having played the Zags, does that kind of prep you a little bit for them?
I think so, but, more of the older Zag teams with the 2 big guys, really, they're physical. They're not just physical and good players, they're really skilled. Tubelis, he'll bring the ball up. I don't know if you saw the one clip in transition where he dribbled on the outside of the player, like he went and, he's 6'10", hit a big shot against us 2 years ago, made that last second shot when we had a chance to win. But just a talented team,
Do you try to, with teams like that, do you try to keep pace with them, or do you try to get them to play your game and,
I think we have to do what we do, but we have to do what we do better. You can't get in a running game with them, but when you have opportunities, you got to take them. And you got to be poised in environments like that. You got to be really poised in environments like that. there's going to be a lot of runs, ups and downs. I thought last year we gave them a good fight there. We had a couple opportunities that we just, play against a top team. You got to have your A game and not your B plus.
And so like that, so this stretch here, like we always knew that this stretch would be.
Yeah.
So how do you not let this sort of like become the end all to like be all like for the season? And just...
You know what? I have a great staff, and we've got great kids. So, we've been resilient this year. We've had, you got back from break. We haven't played our best basketball. We got to get back to that. We use each one of these opportunities to become better. You lose by 2, you lose by 50, you lose. How do you figure out how to win? How do we improve? That's what we focus on every day. And so, yeah, tough stretch, but it's part of it. There's always another day, and there's always the sun always comes out usually, and that's our DMGB. Doesn't matter, get better.
And then just to get that win against a ranked team, it's been some time
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
What is it going to take?
It's going to be taken. We're going to, our defense has to be at a high level. Everything, it can't be 2 players playing really well. It needs to be 4 or 5, playing their A game. That's what it's going to take. And that's part of the growth process. I told you after last game, at this point last year, we were 5-6 going to the league, and we ended up being tied for 5th. So we've got the guys. We've got to get better. We got to play better. It's a rough stretch. Last year we went through a 4-game losing streak in the middle of the year, but figured it out and just stay positive, keep growing, keep getting better. Use this as a learning experience.
Hey, it's like off topic, but did you see or have you heard about the kid last night in the Bengals game? As a coach, do you do you even bring stuff like that with your team, or do you really...
I think so. I was going to the coaches show last night, and when I walked in, I said, "Oh, who's winning the game?" And they were all looking at the screen going, they just couldn't believe it. And it puts things in perspective pretty quick. I heard a lot of players, they were talking about, the game that they play, and so many fans don't know what they go through, from the training to the stresses and to the commitments and those types of things. And to see that is pretty scary, that it can happen to any of us, and we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So yes, we we haven't seen our team since. We'll talk about it today. And, say your prayers, be blessed, be grateful for what you have, because tomorrow's not promised. And, people come together, and the prayers and all those things are just, our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and perspective, important.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
If something like that would happen, here at God forsake at your place, you guys have paramedics, and how many people know CPR to?
We're trained. We're all trained in CPR. We have a hospital right here, right underneath. We've got some of the best doctors in the world. Pat Jenkins, our trainer, is as good as it gets. We're very fortunate, I can tell you that.
Kind of back on topic there. In Arizona, what's it like for you, the team, and stuff, to be in that environment there in Tucson, with that crowd and everyone in red?
It's why you play college sports. You love to play in those environments, and that's what gets you juiced. That's what you want to compete against. And great place to play, great environment, and looking forward to going down there and playing well.